Hello and welcome to the Penno Channel. We're doing something a bit different here because it is the international break, and we all know how we feel about that. In terms of club football's gone away for 2 weeks. It's England. Few of you will be tuning into that, but on the whole, it can be a boring time. I'm joined with my bro, and we're going to do our underrated Premier League team so far. Something a bit different. We've done before Premier League team of the season so far, but this one's a bit different. It's a bit more looking at potentially players you may not have picked up or that may not have been recognised for what they've done. So, yeah, bro, how you doing? How's your day
Man,
going?
and
Are you ready to
just
go?
just a caveat of this, they can be like really good and people can know about them, but they can still be underrated in the sense of you think they should be on an even higher pedestal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Get get it out there. Get the verification out, bro.
that's a caveat as well. All right, cool. So yeah, bro, let's just get into it, man. Who are you saying for your goalkeeper and your back four as the most underrated?
So I'm gonna start with my keeper. As you do, we won't go back to front and start with forwards. We'll start how it always is. I'm gonna go for Andre Onana. I think everyone's seen the trials and tribulations at United. Obviously, Ten Hag's got sacked, and they've got Ruben Amorim coming in. Van Nistelrooy's taken charge of a few games as well. But I think the performances of Andre Onana have gone under the radar. I think United have kept the second most clean sheets, which is 5. I think his goal prevented for United is the highest in the league currently. And I just think his general play and his goalkeeping's been top tier this season. And yeah, United would be a lot worse if Andre Onana wasn't in goal. And I think it's gone under the radar because, yeah, United and their form and have been performing in their league position, it's all just doom and gloom over there at the minute. But the shining light is Andre Onana for sure.
Cool, bro. And for my goalkeeper, bro, I'm going Bart for Bruggen. Like this is a bit of a mad one, but yeah, I just don't see anyone talk about him. And I think he's a really good shot stopper. He's sick with both feet. He can play passes that Brighton need out of the back. And yeah, I think he'll probably get a move to an even bigger club soon. So that's my goalkeeper. I'm gonna go for Bruggen.
Yeah, as we go through these, let us know in the comments your thoughts on what your teams are going to be as well. As always, like and subscribe if you're new. But yeah, let us know what your teams would be and whose decisions do you agree on in terms of the teams. So you've gone for Verbruggen, yeah. Yeah, Brighton have had a solid start, man, for sure. And he's probably of all the Brighton players, he's the least to be talked about.
Like you don't hear anyone talk about like I know that he used
and
to rotate with like Jason Steele before, but now he's like claimed that number 1 spot and like that's his now. So
yeah. Are we
Right,
going
then,
straight through back 4 straight through?
bro, let's give me your back four, bro. What's your back four?
All right, so I've gone Ole Aina.
Right back or left back?
Right back.
Okay, you got Aina.
Gvardiol and Van Dijk centre backs. Okay, they're both probably. I know Gvardiol's played left back, but I'm going to put him as a centre back because I think these two are the most are kind of underrated, even though they're rated.
Just call him
Virgil. Yeah, and then Robinson at left, and then Anthony Robinson at left back.
Okay, talk us through it then, bro. Starting with whoever player. Why do you think Gvardiol, Virgil? Why do you think Aina, Robinson? Why do you think they're underrated?
So I think that Robinson, I'm going to start with underrated. I know people talk about him and they say, you know, when they talk about Fulham, they kind of pass over. They're just like, yeah, Robinson, he's a decent player. But I think he's more than that, and I think he should be playing. Don't want to, you know, kill Fulham fans here, but I think he should be playing for a bigger club for sure. I think he could play for a top 4 side, no problems, and I think that move's coming to him. I think he's better than most left backs in the league, to be honest. And yeah, I just think he spoke about as if like, oh, he's a good left back, but I think he can be even better as well. The pace, the recovery, and his actions going forward as well in attacking positions. He sets up a lot of goals with his directness and his pace, and he can produce a ball as well. So I think Anthony Robinson.
Do you think he's underrated? Do you think like people don't rate him then? Do you feel like
yeah?
What respect do you think he deserves then from fans? What do you want
as being one of the best left backs in the league?
Oh, okay, so you have him that high, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think he's considered that. I think it's stated as in passing. So, like for instance, if you were going to say for Villa, we'd use this as an example, like Luca Dean. I don't think Anthony Robinson's rated to the same level as Luca Dean across the league by fans.
Yeah, I hear that.
But I think he's better. I think he's one of the best. So yeah, I think Anthony Robinson for me. We're going in for Alaina next. I'll go. Again, Chelsea Academy graduate, came through Cobham, had a tough time settling at a team. He was at Fulham at one point as well. I think now Forest is his home. Watching his performances this season and the ratings and levels he's been at, he has actually been one of the best right backs in the league in terms of performances, statistically and by eye test as well. I think that as a whole, when you speak about Forest, everyone will shout Murillo. He's the shining light and he's been quality as well. But Alaina, I think, again, he's one of those players that I'd happily take at Villa. And I think he is, again, better than he's currently rated at the minute. And then in terms of centre-backs, I think...
Yeah, this is a mad one because Van Dijk, you hear people say he's the best Premier League centre-back of all time. You hear people say he's still the best centre-back in the world. What is it about Van Dijk that you think is still underrated about him?
I don't think this is in terms of this season. I think his contributions have just been exemplary. I think Liverpool would not be in the position that they are without, like, some of it can be attributed to Konate as well, but Van Dijk has just been imperious. And like over the years with Klopp, Van Dijk's been considered the best, but their defensive numbers haven't really matched what they've been producing in terms of the league positions. This season, their defensive numbers are the best. They are the best defence as well. You've got to consider that Alisson's been missing for a lot of this season. And yeah, Kelleher's come in and done a good job, but I think he's been restricted to the amount of actions he's had to do just because of the centre-backs in front of him. And I just think Van Dijk, there'll still be discussions, is he the best in the world? There'll be comparisons to the Arsenal centre-backs and, people saying, no, this centre-back's better than the others. No, Van Dijk is the best. Just straight up, he's the best. And I don't think anyone's quite close yet in terms of the level of defending.
And then Guardiola, bro, like another one that gets his credit all the time.
I think he gets that credit, but in terms of this season, because Man City don't look as good as they have been, and in terms of the performances and more the results than the performances, I think that Guardiola, he's been understated still. His performances haven't dipped in this whole period. Out of any Man City player, he's the one player whose performances haven't dipped at all. If anything, and I think that's kind of going unnoticed because Man City have just been considered as a collective. Guardiola's still been unreal this season. Not just his goal scoring abilities, but his passing, his play, and his defensive actions as well. And this is just a little reminder to people who potentially have forgotten that Guardiola is one of the best defenders in this league.
Okay, fair enough, bro. I respect the opinions. Let me just get on to my underrated defense as well. And this one's a bit out there, isn't it? But I'll just go on to onto my team. So at left back, I've gone Milo Kerkez. Now, this is a guy who, for Hungary at the Euros, he impressed me. Bournemouth kind of signed him like relatively unknown, like he wasn't that known, but he just keeps going under the radar for his performances. And he put in a great ball when he came to Villa Park for the Unal header that he missed. He should have scored. He's got pace. He gets up and down the pitch. He can defend. He can attack. And I can see this guy just getting a big move soon anyway, bro. I rate Bournemouth's recruitment highly. And yeah, he's my under the radar left back. Honourable mention for Lewis Hall, who I thought was probably unlucky not to make my team. He's a baller as well. But yeah, Kerkez just gets the nod over him right now. Pau Torres, bro. Now, us Villa fans, we know how good Pau Torres is, isn't it? Like, we know, innit, bro?
Yeah, of course.
We know how good Pau Torres is. I don't think the world knows how good Pau Torres is because for me, he's one of the best ball-playing centre-backs, if not the best, in the league. And I never see him in these conversations as the best passer in the Premier League. He's just never involved. He's always just like, oh, Pau Torres is doing well at Villa. Like his assist to Duran in the Champions League against Bayern Munich was incredible, and he just goes under the radar. I know he didn't have the best game against Tottenham. Maybe if we'd done this 3 weeks ago, he would have held up a bit more. But yeah, underrated, bro. Underrated. He's so crucial to an Emery system. There's a reason Emery needed to sign him. Like, he has to have him in his team because his passing allows Villa to get up the pitch. It breaks the first line of the opposition defence. And yeah, he's just crucial to how we play. And out of all our players, after maybe Martinez, he's the one player you don't want missing from the side. Because like the drop-off is just insane. Now, at right centre-back, bro, I've gone Van Heck. And this is Pau Torres light. This is Pau Torres' twin cousin, like, or whatever, that he's never seen before. Because this guy is one of the best players, again, on the ball. And I think he started to flourish a bit under Hörsler's system this season. But, bro, any type of pass, this guy has it in his locker. And just another player that goes completely under the radar. And a player I probably wouldn't mind seeing at Villa one day, you know. Like, he'd suit Emery's system so well. Comfortable on the ball, can carry the ball. He's got a cross on him as well. He set up Welbeck's header against Forest this season. Yeah, genius player. And then at right back, I've gone Livramento. A footballer I think Villa should have signed 2 seasons ago, maybe last season as well, just to beef our right back position up. He would have been cheap. He's still young. I think he's going to be a future England right back. That's Tino Livramento.
I'd say with Tino Livramento, do you think he's underrated? Because obviously he's got called up to the England squad recently. I know you mentioned Lewis Hall as well, but he's got called up as well. In terms of Tino Livramento, I think he was in the last England squad before. And yeah, do you think he's still underrated in that sense?
Yeah, because I think people still have this vision that like once Trippier comes back, like he'll take his place. But nah, Livramento is above Trippier now. Like, he's better than Trippier. He's had this season now. He's locked down that position. And even when Trippier comes back, I think Livramento starts. And I think slowly now, Eddie Howe picked his best. That's the bodybuilder, isn't it? Eddie Howe's picked his best fullbacks now. Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento start every game. So yeah, I think Livramento is gonna just only grow from here, and we're gonna start seeing his name a lot more in people's like favorite right backs in the league. So yeah, I'm happy with that defense, bro. I'm happy. Defensive midfielder, I'm going to go for Baleba at Brighton, another Brighton guy making my team. Now, this guy started to get rated a little bit, so I see why people might push back on this, but for me, he's one of the best centre midfield in the league. It's actually scary how good this guy is and like how quickly he's grown, because it was only when he was 18, bro. Like, he was in Cameroon, like looking for like an official contract for like just to play football, and now his journey to being a Premier League starter is incredible. He came on
one thing with Baleba, bro. I'll just say he hasn't started that many, like in terms of his minutes this season for Brighton. He hasn't played that many minutes throughout. I was looking at Baleba and I was thinking, yeah, potentially I could have him, but based on this season, in terms of his minutes, he hasn't played as much as I thought he would have done for Brighton. Obviously, he came on the bench. He was injured. The bench against City.
He was injured.
But no, in the games he was playing as well, he'd play like up to 60 minutes, and you know, he'd be getting taken off early as well. I just didn't think his performances in the Premier League as a whole, like he's a quality player, but as a whole, stacked up in terms of being underrated.
The thing is with Baleba is they have so much talent at Brighton that the manager has to rotate to bring in guys like Weaver or to bring in guys like Hinchelwood. But I don't think it's a reflection of Baleba's performances. Like, in all the games, like, he's been sick. He's been so good. And he can drop deep between their centre-backs and play passes like that. And the thing about Baleba is he has so much trust in that system, because what Hörsler likes to do, he likes to push one of his midfielders up forward behind the opposition's midfield, and he'll leave Baleba in the middle as a single pivot. And he trusts Baleba that much that he can just lock off the whole midfield on his own. And to have that kind of trust in a player who's only, 21, I think he goes under the radar just how good he is. And we know Brighton, they're a selling club, and they'll sell their best players. I can see him getting a big 6 move at the end of this season, to be honest. And then my other midfield, I'm going to go Yuri. I'm gonna go
I think
Yuri.
this is the first one we got matching.
Yeah, I think last season, even the most like supportive Villa fan would say he wasn't amazing. He wasn't better than Luiz last season. He wasn't better than Kamara last season. This season, bro, he's taken his game to a whole new level, and he's been Aston Villa's player of the season. I still don't think he gets respect by other Premier League fans. I don't think when you ask like who's the best centre midfielder in the league, people say Gravenberch straight away. Like no one says Tielemans. And I thought at Anfield the other day he outplayed Gravenberch. He was better than him. He was anticipating their passes into midfield, jumping on and winning the ball high. He's provided assists this season. His passing for Villa has been incredible, like all types of passes, and yeah, still underrated. I think people have this idea that because he's been around so long, he's like in his 30s or something. Like he's 26 or 27. Like he started his career younger than it. So yeah, Tielemans, baller. And then my final player is gonna be this one's a weird one, but I'm gonna go Buonanotte, bro, at Leicester. Now he plays more as like a 10, but I'll put him in my midfield. This guy just shows how much talent Brighton have in their team because they've got him out on loan, and he probably start for most bottom half sides in the league. Like he's that good. He's talent sick. He can play any type of pass. He can carry the ball. I thought he had a good game against Villa when he played as well. I think he scored. Yeah, baller, bro. Baller. Really rate this guy high. I think he'll get his Argentina call up soon as well, if he hasn't already. And yeah, just another player that I'd take at Villa, to be honest. Bro, if Brighton are like interested in selling this guy next summer, I'd take him as one of our 10s just to come and be a creative player. So yeah, rate Buonanotte highly. So that's my midfield.
Cool. It's good midfield, man. Some good players. Right. Might as well stick him in straight away. Just stick Yuri in on the right side because, yeah, same reasoning, bro. I think in terms of outside of Villa fans, Yuri's still so underrated. And I think it's partially to do with his stint with Leicester and getting relegated with Leicester as well. And how he was rated initially at Leicester. And then just because they got relegated one season and the whole team didn't perform, it's kind of his image outside of Villa fans has gone downhill a bit. I think he's starting to slightly get the recognition he deserves coming into this season now. But yeah, his performance levels are for one of the best midfielders in the league, and he's not recognised as that just yet. So definitely Yuri. I'm going to have a player who again played against us on the weekend. But I always think he's underrated because compared to his age mates, they're more rated than him in terms of their influence. And for him to be playing for one of the best sides in the league, I don't think he's rated that highly in that sense. And that's Curtis Jones. I think Curtis Jones.
I like this.
Curtis Jones is an unbelievable footballer, and he's still so young. He plays for Liverpool. He's integral for what Liverpool do. He's kind of taken that spot from Szoboszlai now, and he's their main starter. And maybe because it was how Klopp integrated him at times over the seasons, he'd be in and out, but he'd still perform to a high level. And then when you compare him to like his age mates, who, say for instance, he was part of that under-21s team that won the Euros. For instance, outside of just in the football world, if someone said to you Emile Smith-Rowe or Curtis Jones, I think a lot of people would have Emile Smith-Rowe over Curtis Jones in that sense. I think Cole Palmer, obviously, unbelievable player, but he's been rated right up there. But he's playing for Chelsea. I don't think Curtis Jones is considered in the wider footballing world as being that hard of a player, and I think he's shown the ability to be right up there. So I do think Curtis Jones is very underrated in terms of.
He's one of them. He's one of them players that's probably benefited from Klopp leaving because I think he spoke 100%. About how like under Slot there's more control. He gets to show his game off a bit more.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with that. Yeah, I think Curtis Jones should be more rated for sure, definitely. And then to the final position, I think I'm just going to base it off. This one's more this season, and I think his influence for how Marco Silva and his side are playing, and that's Alex Iwobi.
Jeez, I like this pick as well. Yeah, I like that.
I think that again, Iwobi when he left Arsenal, it hampered his reputation. Obviously, coming through their academy there and being a bit part player for Arsenal, he did show glimpses of how good he was. But then he went to Everton again, changed his position and his role, and I think it suited him for the better. He had one season where he was very influential for Everton, and he was Everton's best player, and that was because he changed from being a winger, which he clearly wasn't, and he became more of a dynamic 8 in that sense, and it really aided him. And from that point, he then went to Fulham, and I think under Marco Silva now, he's just become their linchpin, their main player in that centre midfield. He links up all the play, he dictates the play as well, and he's got that ability to get past the player. And now with him, Emma Smith-Rowe coming in, obviously you've got other Arsenal players previous, like Reece Nelson, the link up with Raul Jimenez, other players within that Fulham side. They're becoming a real dynamic and entertaining team who can get results and challenge and get good performances against the best of anyone. I think Alex Iwobi is integral in that. So yeah, I think Alex Iwobi for sure is definitely one of those players who is really underrated in the Premier League.
I'll have the Iwobi one. I'll rate the Iwobi one. Big up Iwobi as well. One of the funniest players on social media. Like him and Aina. Like you got the two guys as well that are the funniest on social media as well. So your team might be underrated in that aspect as well. Like these men are funny. So
yeah, facts.
Yeah, I'll rate the Iwobi pick. All right, we'll go now right winger and left winger, and then we'll save the striker to the end. So. Do you want me to go next? Do you want to go next?
I can go.
You want to go next? Okay, give me your left winger first.
Oh, left winger. Okay, I've got a few. Yes, so give me a couple seconds because this one's tough. I think left winger's probably.
Don't read out your honourable mentions though, because it might be my one.
No, I'm not gonna. I had a few coming into this. I'm going to think because it's tough because.
All right. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go on your left wing because I'm still.
All right.
Considering
my one's kind of cheating a little bit, but my left winger, it begrudges me a little bit to put a doghead in here, but you know what? He deserves it. I'm gonna go Matthias Cunha, who can play from the left. And for me,
he was one of mine.
How do Wolverhampton Wanderers, who've been bottom of the league for most of the season, have the access to Matthias Cunha, bro? Like, this guy's a Champions League level player. He's dribbling, his ability to read the space, he's shooting, his link-up play. He's cold. And we saw what happened at Villa Park when you give him time and space to shoot, bro. He'll punish you. So, yeah, big up Matthias Cunha. That's my pick for left wing. And at right wing, this one, I think he's underrated because I just think people just don't know who he is, bro. But he's only really burst onto the scene like this season. Shout out Michael Richards. But yeah, I'm gonna go Tyler Diblin, bro. Now, Tyler Diblin, if you're a fan of Jack Grealish, if you like watching Jack Grealish, Villa have got one in Ben Brojo in our academy, but Tyler Diblin, he plays exactly like Grealish as well on the right hand side. Low socks. Dribbles, baits the opponent and gets past him. He's got pace, he's got ability to cross, he can link up play, he's got skills as well. He put in a great performance. I think it was against Manchester United this season on TV. And yeah, this guy, future England starter, he's got a bright future ahead of him. And I'm just interested to see how the season goes for him now because he's a baller, he's a serious baller. And another player I wouldn't mind seeing at Villa one day, I think he's that good.
Yeah, good shouts for those two, bro. Especially Matthias Cunha. I think Matthias Cunha is heavily underrated right now.
Yeah, in fact, that is ridiculous.
Because he's playing for Wolves, but he's a Champions League player, definitely for sure. Right. See, this is tough. This is tough here. I've got a few players. I'll go from the right side first, and I think he's underrated again in terms of the level he should be playing at. And that's Antoine Semenyo. I'm going to put, I think, He is a player again who should be playing Champions League football. His ability on the ball, his threat, he's a constant threat. I think now, for me, he's Bournemouth's, best player. He's literally their guy, and I think he could be the guy for a lot of top sides within this league as well. Just quality, just oozes quality on the ball, his movement, and he can score goals as well. He's got an eye for goal. He's creative as well. I think Antoine Semenyo is right up there as one of the best right wingers in the league, and that can kind of go over people's heads because he's currently playing for Bournemouth. But I think in a few years' time, he'll be playing for a top 4 side, no problem. I think he's unreal. And again, that's Bournemouth unreal scouting, picking someone up from the Championship, giving him a couple of seasons, and now he's absolutely flourishing. So yeah, I'm going to put Antoine Semenyo on the right. Now for the left again. I don't know if I'm going to watch it go.
I like that you're proper thinking about this, bro. I rate it. I respect it when you proper.
The thing I'm proper thinking about is because I've got a top player, not so top player, but the top player I think's underrated because, like, he's in a team of quality players, but this season he's really showing what he's doing, and I think.
Okay, you might have a similar pick to my striker. Then it sounds like.
So I was going to put Luis Diaz on the left, didn't it?
Okay.
I was going to put Luis Diaz.
Is that how you putting it?
Yeah, I'll put Luis Diaz anyway because I still don't think he's rated high enough. Like I think Luis Diaz gets talked about flippantly, in terms of his level, just because Liverpool have so many good players, when in fact he's probably the best left winger in the league. I think another one I was going to say was Karen Matoma, just because.
Yeah,
I think his performances dipped last season, and people are forgetting how good he is. Yeah, exactly.
Been balling this season still, but
exactly.
he just hasn't landed with the goals. But his actual play, he's still been sick.
He's been unreal.
About him, ever since he had the clout when he had that dribbling thesis that he wrote for university. That was his narrative in the league, and people just used to be like, "Oh, this guy wrote about how to dribble and he's skinning man up as well." Like it's kind of a violation, but he kind of gone off the radar a bit because of his injury. I think he had an injury, so. Yeah, I hear the Mitoma pick as well.
But yeah, I'm going to go Luis Diaz, man. I think Luis Diaz is the best left wing in the league, and over time, he's just going to get better and better for Liverpool as well. He's just unplayable at times. He really is. And when you compare him to the other left wingers in the league, I think, because it's a position really which I think struggles across the whole league. I think it actually struggles in terms of big game players and big name players in that instance. Obviously Son is Son, and he's kind of coming to the last stages of his career, not as dynamic and explosive.
He's a bit washed. You can say he's a bit washed.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's up for grabs for someone to claim being the best left wing in the world, in the Premier League.
All right then, bro.
I think it is Luis Diaz.
You centre forward, then we'll stay on you just to complete your team. The striker. The gunman. Who's the most underrated striker in the league for you?
Again, you could go 2 ways of stating it, but I'm just going to give him his praise because he's still about. It's Danny Welbeck. I'm going to have to give it Danny Welbeck. I'm going to have to.
I respect it.
I'm going to have to.
Boy, we're showing
guy.
Brighton. Bro, man are going to think this is a Brighton podcast, man.
Trust me. Especially yours, bro. But yeah, this guy, how is he still doing it? I think he's got 8 goals in the league this season. I think he's a joint second top goal scorer. With the amount of injuries he's had, with the amount of injuries this guy's had through his career, he's still able to produce at the top level in the Premier League, and he's having another renaissance this year. And I think people forget, he came through Manchester United's academy, had good seasons at Manchester United, had good seasons at Arsenal as well. And I think people just forget the level Danny Welbeck's at and how good he has been through his career, and the injuries that he's had kind of have limited to the amount of availability he had. Because if he didn't have those injuries, he'd be right up there, in terms of numbers and how people regard him within England, because he has everything. He literally has everything in regards to his play. He can shoot, he can pass, you can play off him. He used to be able to run in behind as well. he has it all, and it's just fantastic to see him showing that and displaying that again, because people forget how good Danny Welbeck is, and he always has those moments where he reminds people, yeah, this is me, and I still think he's across the league, he's very underrated.
Yeah, Welbeck's a mad one because when he was at Watford, like I saw his level drop off and I thought, okay, he's gonna go like MLS now, retire at like 34 or whatever. He's had like a renaissance in his career, bro. And the way that he's managed to like get his career back on track fully, starting for Brighton, he's keeping Evan Ferguson out of the lineup.
Yeah.
And Evan Ferguson was supposed to be like the next big deal. I still rate him, but he's definitely like had a bit of a drop off thanks to Welbeck's form. So yeah, big up Welbeck, man. I think I've underrated him, especially on Fantasy Premier League this season. Like I've underrated. Like he's dirt cheap, and I just don't put him in my team. And he just scores almost like once every 2 weeks, bro. So yeah, big up Welbeck, man. He's been around for ages when you think about it.
Ages, bro. Ages.
I think he's 34, 33, 34 now. So
yeah, probably around 34. Yeah,
he's gonna do it Ashley Young, I think.
And it, his body holds.
Yeah, to complete my team, bro. I had a lot of choice here. I can't lie. I had a lot of choice, but I'm gonna give it to the man, Nicholas Jackson. Like if you've seen the video, innit, you know about this guy. Yeah, I rated this guy last season as well, and I understand people's criticism on the finishing, etc. But my big thing for strikers is if you're getting the opportunities to score and you keep trying and you keep getting chances, the goals are gonna come, bro. So that stuff never worried me. In terms of his overall play, I think this guy is sick. Like he can drop deep, his touch is good, his passing is underrated. He used to be a midfielder at Villarreal, and you can kind of see like the midfielder in him in his game when he drops deep, bro, when he like spins a man, when he plays it forward. And yeah, I just think he's sick, bro. Unai Emery wanted him at Villa. He was a baller for him at Villarreal, and you can see why Emery loved him so much, bro. Like I think his technical ability is sick. And I don't think he gets spoken as one of the best strikers in the league. And I think he's up there, but I think he's like better than Havertz at Arsenal. Like I think he's up there with obviously Haaland. Haaland leads the way, but when I heard like Chelsea need like a new striker, I ignore them talks, but I think Jackson's their guy. I think Jackson's fine. He's XG, bro. He always puts up chances, and he's a creator now as well. And I kind of think people forget he's only like 22. I think there's like this idea of Jackson that he's like 26 or something. Like he's young, man. He's still learning, and yeah, I think he'll go on to be one of the probably top 2 strikers eventually in the league, bro. So yeah, big up Jackson. I think he's still underrated. Don't think Chelsea need a new striker, and yeah, I would imagine him at Villa when we were linked, bro. If he would have played, I know we got budgets now for that, so it worked out well. But if he would have been off Watkins, dropping deep and then feeding him in behind in that system, like he played with Dan Juma, that would have been cold. So that's my team, bro. That's my team.
Yeah, like it.
So I've gone for Brugman, Livramento, Van Heck, Powell, Kirkers, Tillemans, Baleba, and Buonanotte in midfield, and my front 3: Tyler Diblin, Nicholas Jackson, and Matheus Cunha. And then, if you want to read yours out, bro.
Yeah, so I've gone Andre Nana, Alaina, Gvardiol, Van Dijk, Robinson. Midfield, Tillemans, Curtis Jones, and Iwobi. And then up front, Semenyo, Welbeck, and Luis Diaz.
I think we've done well there. To only have one player, so I thought we were going to have a pretty... Yeah.
I think, and let's not say it's biased, man. It actually is. Yuri is underrated still. That's no bias, man. So...
Yeah. I wasn't expecting you to have more Villa players than you, to be fair. I thought you were going to go Villa heavy.
No, I think because of where we finished last season and the eyes that are on the club now, I think the players get rated accordingly for the majority. I think they do.
All right, then, bro. Just to finish it off, underrated manager pick in the league right now. Just
go on then. Let's see
yeah, for me, bro, you're probably gonna know that it's gonna be this already. Bro.
Does it begin with an F and end in a K?
It might do, bro. Thomas Frank, like for me, Brentford, realistically, there should be a League One side. This guy's worked miracles, and there's always this thing at the start of the season, like Brentford are gonna be in a relegation. Brentford has never been in a relegation battle since they've been promoted. It hasn't even been close. Like they always find a way. They've got the best home record in the league this season. They go toe-to-toe with most sides. Whenever I see Brentford on the fixture list, bro, apart from when Sir Aaron Danks took over that one game, Like, it's always just a cagey battle, bro. You're always in for a game, especially when it's away from home, and you have to dig deep against them. They're set up well defensively. They've got attackers that are great. So yeah, Thomas Frank. I think he could manage most Premier League clubs. I think he's that good. So yeah, that's my managerial pick, Thomas Frank.
I don't know. I don't know if he's becoming underrated yet. No, because he's getting recognition. Those managers are getting recognition.
Are you thinking
I
Unai?
was going to think Iraola and Donny, but I think he's getting the recognition now. I think he's a top manager.
You can say Iraola.
But I don't think he's underrated now. I think people are clocking on. I think
Yeah,
he's been
fair
clocked on. Underrated manager.
What do you think? Do you think Unai's still underrated, or do you think he gets his respect now?
No, he's still underrated. He's still
You think?
underrated. Yeah, because like he's like just because of he took over our squad, isn't it? I don't know. I just think he's still underrated in terms of the conversation. He's getting put into conversations about how Villa should do well against these top sides when Villa haven't spent or been working within the means the top sides have. So I think that's partially why I still think he's a bit underrated. But I don't think he's the most underrated.
That could be your answer, though, bro, if you're struggling to.
Yeah, I'll probably... No, just put Iraola. Just put Iraola.
Iraola, yeah?
I think, yeah, he's quality, man. And again, I think if he doesn't take Bournemouth to Europe over the next season or two, I think he'll become a manager of a side in Europe.
All right, sit, bro. We'll wrap that up there. If you're watching the video, if you can like, subscribe if you haven't already. Drop in the comments what you think about our teams. Firstly, whose team do you think's better, mine or Penno's? And secondly, what players are you adding that we've missed? What players have we missed? What players do you think are more underrated than the ones that we've chosen? And stay tuned because we're going to drop the overrated team. And I think that's going to be a bit more controversial. That the overrated team, that's going to be the one. So yeah, like, subscribe if you haven't already.